Good evening, Flambeau. Good evening, Flambeau. Come on, give me some love here. Good evening, Flambeau. I know we are on our way, and I ask for divine protection on all of us who are still on these roads. I hope that we are going to be safe as we make our way to this wonderful place. So it's so nice to be able to address you once again. It's so nice to be in your presence this evening. It's so nice to gather together to see all of the yellow shirts and the friendly faces here this afternoon. And I was especially proud, my dear friends, that when I heard the St. Lucian National Anthem being sung today, you know, though I am thousands of miles away, but somehow I got emotional. And I'm referring to when Juju took the podium and then the gold medal was placed over her neck. That was a moment. I don't know if you felt like me, but that was indeed a proud moment. And we're giving Juju all of our strength as she goes into the 200 meters, where I know, and you'll agree with me, that she's going to bring a second gold medal. In any event, she will be on the podium. So I'd like to once again recognize, although protocol has been established, let me recognize our astute political leader, the man they have tried to diminish, the man whose words they've misrepresented, the man who is poised to become St. Lucia's next and greatest Prime Minister. Yes, the leader of the United Workers' Party and parliamentary representative of the great constituency of Migu South, the Honorable, the only one, Alan Michael Chasney. Good afternoon, sir. Let me also recognize our two deputy political leaders, the Honorable Senator Dominic Fede and Mr. Guy Joseph. I think I saw you a while ago. Let me recognize the General Secretary of our esteemed party, Madam Jody, I'm looking for her first name, Janine Jody McIntyre. That's why I took a little pause right there. And she served as our President of the Senate in the last administration. Other executive members, let me recognize you also. And I want to say a warm welcome and good evening to you. To our party chairman, I want to say welcome, sir, and an esteemed thank you because of the hard work that you are doing. All the dedicated members of the United Workers' Party, friends, family, those here and abroad, good evening to you all. My friends, I want to say a special thank you to those who are watching via television and those on social media, and to wish all St. Lucians a peaceful and joyous evening. Joy because the great Julian Alfred, as I just mentioned a while ago, has finally done what no St. Lucians have done before. We especially want to remind all that Julian's victory at the 33rd Olympiad belongs to all of us, all St. Lucians. This is an occasion where we unite. Let us therefore collectively celebrate this historic win together. Friends, I also sympathize, as they say, after joy comes sorrow. I also sympathize with the young mother from our leader's constituency who have lost a young son. A young man who would have just turned 14, just one day before his untimely demise. Plucked from us by a bullet from a gun. This young man could have been the next Julian Alfred. This young man may have well gone on to become a pastor, a priest, a lawyer, a model policeman. Now I say a lawyer, but I must qualify it by saying a good lawyer and a model policeman, an ethical doctor, or even St. Lucia's next parliamentarian, or better yet, our prime minister. But sadly, his life was cut short. Shot in the head and bled to death in the arms of his mother. And that's what his mother said to me when I spoke with her a few days ago. My good friends, I know no matter how gruesome we relate these tragic events, it is regrettable to say they don't shock us anymore. Our society has become blind to the heinous crimes. We are no longer sympathetic. We are only to ask ourselves, why? But before I give you an answer, let me also express my sympathies and condolences to the families of the two young men in my hometown of Bellevue, in Vieux-Fort North, who lost their lives so brutally again to gun violence, slain by the gun a few days in Dennery. As bad as it is with an already misrepresented Vieux-Fort North, these certainly are not what we want coming out of our iconic community. And talking about icons, I want to also convey my condolences to and recognize two cultural icons such as Rameau Poléon, folk violinist and my wife's grandfather, as well as Dave Samuels, broadcaster, producer, who left an indelible mark on St. Lucia. My friends, they both left us several days ago. May their souls rest in perfect peace. This is how we want to be remembered. We need to be remembered by our fellow countrymen and women as icons, great men and women, outstanding citizens, not young men and women fallen at the hands of other trigger-happy young men, not by the slaying from machetes, knives, scissors, and other weapons of mass destructions. My friends, I asked you a question a little while ago. I asked why. I will go further to ask, how long will they keep killing our children while we stand aside and look? How long will the screens of our phones come to life with gruesome pics of another dead body? Is it, or if it's not riddled by bullets, the bodies are headless. If it's not a severed limb, it's a body fished out of the sea. If it's not a rotten and decaying carcass found in a vehicle, it's a body covered by flies and maggots in bushes. How long, my friends? How long? What must it take to move us to the point where we finally say, no more, enough? While this government wants to caution you and I about politicizing crime, they are the embodiment of it. Everywhere you turn, this government's actions are having and continues to contribute towards the levels of decay in our society, such as have never been seen before. They tell us to stop politicizing crime, yet they show up in churches brandishing guns. They tell us to stop politicizing crime, yet we hear the names of ministers in espionage and collusion. They tell us to stop politicizing crime, yet the names are mentioned in CIP scandals and Rovergate scandals, West Indies cricket board scandals, undervaluing of lands, secret deals, and more and more and more. They remind you that they know where you live. The leader of this country tells us he knows everything about crime, yet he will not provide the police with any details to help this country combat crime. They behave like duns in the St. Lucia House of Assembly. All the time, our young men and women are absorbing this. They're listening, filtering what they see and hear through their gray matter into their subconscious. It is therefore little wonder why our youth displays such levels of violence as they are behaving as they are now. My friends, this government lacks action. Its unwillingness to put measures in place to mitigate crime is glaring. The hallmarks of this Labour administration is a soft approach to crime. It's written all over this society. Take, for example, during the curfew period during COVID-19, they blatantly defied the laws and assembled as they pleased. That was a crime. We saw how they came face to face with policemen, daring and threatening our law enforcement officer. That was a crime. Many agree that one of the ways they have contributed to crime, or the rise of crime on this island, is when they stopped the projects that employed hundreds of young men throughout the island. Need I remind you? The airport redevelopment project in Vieux South, the housing projects all over St. Lucia, the road construction, DSH, St. Jude's Hospital, and others, and on and on and on. Once these major projects were stopped, many young people had nowhere to go, as the song says, no place to go, nothing to do. And they engage in crime to earn a living. True to form, as they say, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Labour Party, you are responsible for these young men and women rotting in graves at this moment. You, Labour Party, you constantly reminded us that you are not the one who's a police. You are not the one who's a teacher. You are not the one who knows anything. You don't know, you don't know. That's what you told us. Well, since you are not, and are not, and do not know, how will you ever know how to govern this country? Labour Party, it is simple. Either you lead, you follow, or you get out of the way. And we all know you cannot lead, you will not follow, therefore you must get out of the way. My friends, year over year, it's an increase in crime, in murder rate, since the Labour Party took control. Red blood on the soils of St. Lucia, from the north to the south, east to the west, Grosile to Vieux Fort, ancillary to Canaries. The soul of this nation bleeds red. Our once prosperous St. Lucia is now stained with red labor. My friends, after we lost the elections in Vieux Fort North, there were 3 days of laughter. Oh yes, they gathered 3 days of laughter. They laughed at me 3 days non-stop. They met raising glasses filled with red wine, sharing and toasting each other. Sadly, they did not know their 3 days of laughter signified and turned into nothing but 3 years of increased crime. 3 years of Mepui, 3 years of Mauvelang and Malpali, 3 years of high fuel prices, 3 years of inflation, 3 years of I don't know, it wasn't me, 3 years of Ukraine war, 3 years of shipping issues and logistics, 3 years of chasse, yet nothing to combat and fight crime. It is obvious that crime levels in our country is a direct result of bad governance. Crime cannot be divorced from bad policies of any administration. Therefore, tell them to go make a round and come back again. So I hear, they ask, is it the minister of government or the ministers of government that puts guns in the hands of our young men? The answer is yes. And you'd probably ask yourself, why would I say such a thing? I say in many ways, yes, because they disbanded and got rid of an effective canine unit. They did. These governments have simply labeled constituencies like Viffort South a crime hotspot. They do nothing but to call Viffort South a crime hotspot. These governments have failed to proactively sit down and put a comprehensive crime-fighting unit in place, in spite of free ministers that oversees crime. They boast about how well-equipped the police force is, jet skis, and vehicles, boats, and electric pole-mounted cameras, yet have failed to seriously combat crime levels. We all know the moral of the RSLPF is at the lowest ever. I have family and friends who are police officers. I know because they tell me. Take, for example, the police commissioner. They touted her as being the first female to hold the post. Oh, it was a glaring victory for them, they declare. She is now under severe pressure because she's attempting to resolve issues surrounding allegations and misconduct of her deputy. She has instead reached out to CARICOM or to her CARICOM counterpart to assist, since she has no confidence, like this administration, in this matter being competently handled locally. How comes we are not hearing from the Minister of Justice? Where is the voice of the Minister for Crime Prevention? Where is the Minister with responsibility for the police? Why haven't all those ministers caused the police to act on the advice of the DPP? We are all waiting with bated breath because we heard the DPP's press conference and recommendations. Will they act on it? Ask yourself this question. What are they after? Guy or Shastney? Shastney or Guy? Do you know why? Because they know the true capabilities of these two great leaders. They fear those two great, powerful, and influential men. We know better, Flambeau. We know better. Alan and Guy are here to stay. Alan and Guy are here to stay. So we should never be surprised at the tactics of the Labour Party, St. Lucians. We have long seen and understood that Labour brought nothing to the table but themselves. UWP, on the other hand, created the command center, and you saw and heard all what they were doing on a daily basis. You saw and heard Herman Gill Francis, then Acting Police Commissioner Milton Daisy, and other ranking members of the force. You knew what was going on. Now, do you? We can go on and on, my friends, but for limited time, let us move on. Friends, this Prime Minister is now begging for advice. You heard him ask for it. He literally says, if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Once again, this government who shows it has confidence, or it doesn't have confidence in the police force, just like many other areas such as healthcare, agriculture, and etc. They're asking you and I for advice. Well, since Mr. Prime Minister asked, we have plenty of advice to give, including the list submitted to you by the honorable leader of the opposition. Mr. PM, if the crime wave is messing up the shores and eroding the core of our society, your government must put breakers in place to stop the erosion. Your government must put barriers in place to prevent the impact of the crime wave that we're experiencing. But we know you will tell us you are not an engineer or marine biologist, so you don't know what to do. Thankfully, Flambeau is not giving up. The UWP, under the able direction of St. Lucia's next Prime Minister, the Honorable Michael Allen Shastney, has not given up nor is he about to give up. We cannot continue with you and your regime, Labour. We are not going back to your incompetencies because our fight is for the future of St. Lucia. And this is a fight for equality, a fight for freedom of political association, a fight to stop racism, a fight to be better in terms of healthcare, a fight for better roads, better and affordable living conditions, a fight for better schools and education, a fight for justice, and most importantly, a fight for good governance. Labour has unleashed on all of us a full onslaught of discrimination, racism, and victimization. Our rights and freedoms are quickly eroding, and I'm coming to the end. The freedoms that we enjoyed is gone, is fast eroding. The freedom to be safe from gun violence, the freedom from hate and jealousy, the freedom to live without fear, the freedom to learn and acknowledge St. Lucia is an increasingly diverse society where blacks, whites, Indians, Syrians, and mixed races have all made this beautiful island their home. My dear friends, under this administration, this has been the worst our society has ever descended to. We have an administration that promotes a very low state of morality, disrespect, and appreciation for each other. We need a leader that will go all out to help us move this country forward. We need a leader that will get us out of this low place. What we need is a leader that will get us up to the next level. What we need is a United Workers' Party. What we need is Alan Michael Shasley. And as the good word goes, weeping endures for the night, but joy comes in the morning, my dear friends. So, rest assured, the morning after these elections, whenever they are called, great joy will return to the island of St. Lucia to truly earn its place as the Helen of the West Indies. Thank you.